everyone and welcome to the 100 Days of UI Design Challenge with Veera. This is day 38 and today we are going to make a really cute, really amazing, very animated, very splashy, extremely fun mobile app UI design, and I'm going to show you how you can use it on your phone. So this is something I'm really proud of and we get to make this today. I know it doesn't look really good on camera, but I can promise you when you build this app and use it on your phone as a UI design, you are going to be blown away by the results. It is animated, it is colorful, it is splashy, it is flavorful, and it looks super extremely amazing. So let's just jump right into the demo. Here we have the demo for what we're going to be building today. It is a really cool, really special mobile UI. It is a slider. It has animations, it has radial gradients, it has background splashes, it has so many things that we're about to cover, and most importantly, we also have a secret super special font with us today. I am so excited for all of these things, you guys. In fact, there are micro interactions and special effects that you don't even know exist, and we're going to be using them for this one. For example, check out this radial gradient. You don't even know it exists, and yet it does. This is going to be one of the most fun UI design builds we've ever done on this channel. This is going to be one of the most special, one of the most amazing UI builds ever. Let's just jump right into it. The very first thing that you are going to do is you're going to go to Google or Firefox. You can go wherever you want. Search for Figma downloads. You're basically going to go to the first link. It's figma.com/downloads. Go to the desktop app, install it for macOS or Windows, follow the instructions. Once you're ready, you're going to jump right back into Figma. This is the opening screen. This is what you're going to be greeted with. You're just going to click on Create New and Design File, and that's going to give you your own beautiful, simple UI design file that you can use wherever you want, whenever you want. The very first thing that we're going to do is, since this is a mobile UI, I'm again really proud of this one. Since this is a mobile UI, you want to have the dimensions of your actual mobile screen. Now I'm going to take dimensions that match my mobile screen. You can, if you want, look into your model of mobile and check out its exact pixel values, or you can build along with my resolutions and then scale up and down from there. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of different things that we're going to explore in this one. So let's just get started. This is my mobile screen and it has the ratio of frames as 414 pixels of width by 925 pixels of height, and that is the resolution I'm going to use for this UI inside of this UI design file. So let's just get started. We'll just go to the frame, or you can just click on F. This is just really simple stuff. Create a simple frame, just click on it. That gives you a beautiful frame, and you can resize it. I'm resizing it to 414 by 925 pixels of width and height, and this frame that you do see now matches the exact resolution of my mobile and most mobiles for that part. But if you have a different model, different version, just go to Google, put down your model, and that's going to give you, you know what, let me just demonstrate really quickly. You know what, go to Google and search for iPhone 15, let's say viewport ratio, because the thing that we're looking for here is the viewport. And that's going to give you the exact width and height that you're going to be using for your frame. For this specific model, it is 414 by 925, but here we see the iPhone 15 has 393 by 852 pixels of width and height for your viewport. You are always going to search for the viewport ratio, never the pixel ratio, because this is something you don't want. This is the resolution. It is different from your viewport. You always care about viewports with UI design. All right. The next thing we're going to do is we are going to go inside our frame and we're going to start by building the basic building blocks. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to start by importing images. All of the images that we're going to be using for this design on day 38 of the 100 Days of UI Design Challenge, you can find in our Discord group. The link is in the description as well as the pinned comments for the live chat. So you can just click on the first link, go to the group, search for whatever UI assets, by the way, you want from all of these 100 days and around the channel. And most importantly, you're also going to get the assets for this UI design. All right, so you can just find all of your assets in the Discord group, links in the description and in the live chat, wherever it is. You're going to click on it, and that's going to give you a beautiful folder, and I'm going to show you what that folder looks like now. Once you go to Discord, once you download this folder called 38 or day 38, you'll find a lot of different things inside of it, which includes your 4 different cupcake images, 4 different splash images, and a text file. This text file has all of the different text data related to our UI design. You can just copy and paste the different data, title, description, tags, whatever it is that you need to use for this UI design, copy and paste it directly, and this cuts out your copywriting part, and this also cuts out your typing part. So it just narrows things down so that we can make them more easily, but you can always use whatever text you want here as well. All right, now that we've taken care of that, we'll go back to Figma. Click on Ctrl+Shift+K. This lets you open any image. We'll just click on this one and click on the screen. This is going to give us this image placed beautifully inside of our screen. All right, now we want to give this page a background color. This is really important. You're just going to choose a shade of brown that you like at first, and then you're going to go inside, try to get the best next shade that you've decided and the one that's present in the image. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your color picker, choose a color from inside the frame, make it darker, make it match the theme and the color and the style that you're going for. Of course, it's okay to change your colors a little bit to go around the given colors of the image a little bit. It doesn't really matter. You just have to get the right colors, whatever it is that you think would work well. I'm just choosing a color at this point. It doesn't matter which exact color it is. You can copy this exact hex code and there's no problem with that. This is 5D2309. But by the way, make sure never to put O instead of 0. It's always 0. For hex codes, alphabets only go until F because these are hexadecimal values. Alright, now that we have this sorted out, we are going to import a radial gradient. But since we already have a background color that's working here, we want to add a radial gradient to this screen. The way we're going to do that is we're going to go to the ellipse, we're going to make a circle, and this lets you add multiple radial gradients aside from what you have in your background. So of course we can do what we're doing right here through the background colors radial gradient as well. We can just change the background color of this frame to a radial gradient and then work from there. But I want to add additional radial gradients. If you want to have more than one radial gradients where fills don't work anywhere, where you want to make things a little bit more complex, a little bit more advanced, you're going to get yourself a circle, scale it, click on Shift key. This lets you very beautifully scale your circle without messing up its dimensions. You can always lock this, and then whatever value you place over here, you're always going to have that exact same value here. So it's going to basically maintain the exact same ratio. If it is 1:1, it'll maintain that. If it was 1:19, it would maintain that. Next, we're going to give this circle a fill of radial gradients. What it is going to do is, instead of having to change the radial gradient of the whole circle, it's just going to change the background of a certain area. This is where radial gradients inside of specific circles are very, very useful. Sometimes you want to have more than one radial gradients, more than one kinds of fill. So for example, if I want to have a gray background here and then a yellow background up top, this is not what we want for this project, but we could want this for something else. If you want a gray color tint background radial gradient here and a yellow one at the top, you could use 2 different circles. Meanwhile, if you chose to go with the background fill and you chose to play around with it, it would only let you create a radial gradient in one specific place, either at the top or at the bottom. This lets you have a lot of ease and a lot of access, a lot of stretchability in terms of what you're doing and where you're doing it. So we'll just remove this guy, make this bigger. You want it to be bigger than the actual image itself because you want it to leave a bright shadow, a bright luminescence. Next, we are going to change its color. And this is just a really, really simple thing. You can choose any color you want at this point. It doesn't, as I say all the time, it doesn't matter what color it is. But since you want this color to fade out, you're going to choose the last color is always going to be the color that is outside. Or you could just take any color and reduce its opacity to 0. Then it would sort of fade out gradually. But I'm just going to take the last color to be the same as the fill of the frame. And this gives us a bright, really, really subtle but really, really bright luminescence in terms of highlighting this specific image in front of the UI. So for example, if I just copy and pasted it, and if I didn't have this circle's luminescence, it would be quite difficult to feel as smooth as we do on the first frame. So this is just really abrupt, and it's just right there, it's in front of you. You don't want to see that. For more advanced level, for more casual vision at your UI, you always want to have things that work smoothly. You don't want things to be as abrupt as there. You have a plain background and then we've just plopped on an image. You don't want that. You want things to be a little more gradual. We'll just remove this image and we'll get back to the whole thing. Now you might have noticed for most mobile screens, there is a notification bar up top. So for this UI design, since we're really, really careful about using this in an actual mobile, we're going to make a notification bar. We're going to leave space for that as well. The way you make a notification bar is you don't have to worry about what icons and what battery percentages there are. Your phone takes care of that. You're just going to draw a simple rectangle, make it smaller, take it to about 20 pixels. I don't want to make it too big at this point. Change its, because we can put in the notification bar, we can put any color we like. So we're just going to take it to a white and reduce its opacity by 92%. So we're going to leave it at 8%. This is going to give us a really, really nice color difference. And this color, by chance, since this is lightening of our main shade, is going to match this color which is in the luminescence of the circle. So this works out in our advantage. This gives us a feel of these two areas having the same color. This is something you really want to add. Again, this is another thing that helps you make your UI more subtle. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to start with our beautiful fonts. I love the font that we're going to start using now. You're just going to go to your files. The folder that you've downloaded gives you this text file. It's called Chocodelize. You're going to copy the text of the brand, just the name, paste it. You can also type it out, but it also has this weird E with the tilde, so I don't want to try to type it and then fail. I've already taken care of that once. You can just copy and paste it. The reason we're doing is, I'll show you why we're doing this, and it's going to look really fancy later. We're going to change the font family to Sand Creek. This is, again, such a beautiful font. It's called Sand Creek. So pretty, so beautiful. It is one of the most delightful fonts that you're going to use ever. We're going to make this capital, change the fill to white, change its opacity to about 22%, and I'm just throwing numbers at a wall here. You don't have to agree with these exact same numbers. You can always go around, try and test your own numbers and then decide what you want to do with them. I'm going to change the font size as well, take it to around 200, see where it goes. That's too big. I had no idea. We'll just make it smaller. We'll try 128. That doesn't work. 64. Let's hope this works. 64 looks good. I'm good with 64. You know, we might do 72. This is just me thinking internally. This is the actual workings of what goes on in your head while you're doing UI design. All right, now we're just going to rotate it to 90 degrees. And then we're going to right click on flip horizontal. That is going to give you this beautiful flip. Next, we're going to right click on flip vertical. And then finally, you're going to have, after minus 90 degrees of rotation, you basically have what we like to call a beautiful silhouette. So it's going to match the edges of this nut. Shift it above just a little bit. We can take both of these, drag them down by a very, very small number. Take all of these, drag them down, because right now it just looks like it's at the top too much. make sure to leave it some spacing at the bottom. You want the space to be breathable. You can increase the size of the circle depending on how much space you want to illuminate, how gradually you want this image to be introduced. All right, now we're going to click on Control Shift K. This is a beautiful keyboard shortcut. It lets you import all of them images. Now we're going to click on the splash image of the chocolates, and this is going to be the thing that brings your UI design together. And when I say together, I mean this is what transforms your UI design from a 1 to a 10. You're going to click on place all. That's going to place your beautiful splash for you. You don't have to resize any of these images. The images that you find in our Discord group are completely sized for the exact resolutions and scales that you're working with. These are not going to get blurry. These are not going to get pixelated. Super useful, super nice, super fun. All right, now you're going to right click and send it to the back. You're just going to zoom in. Make sure you've only selected this image, the splash image, send it to the back, and then that is going to send it at the bottom of everything. Now, a problem that we face is this circle comes in the way. We'll just place it right here. Take it and just make sure it goes right behind the splash image. So the splash image is behind everything, but the circle is behind the splash. So it's the second last layer, which is actually the splash. All right, now we have taken care of that, and this gives us this beautiful splash UI. And believe me, you guys, right now it just seems like nothing, but on your actual screens, it is going to be one of the most amazing parts of a screen UI you have ever seen. I am so excited for this one. You can actually use it in your own mobile screens, and we're going to get to that really soon. All right, now we're going to go back to our text file, the one that we got from our Discord group folder for day 38 of the 100 days of UI design. I come live every single day at 8 p.m. Indian Standard Time for 100 days of UI design. This is day 38. So much fun coming to you guys live. All right, now we have our title with us. We'll just copy this title and place this. This has given us, this font Sand Creek has given us, in fact, a really nice font family, kerning, whatever you want to call it, to work with. I like this a lot, so much. We'll just change the color here to white. This is where the magic actually starts to happen. You're going to change your font case to the title case, because this is the title. Resize it to make it smaller, and this is where actual magic starts to happen. We'll just resize this guy, make it smaller. We can take it to about 56. I don't think we would have any problems with 56. Let's just take it and place it right here. We'll decrease the line height because we want these lines to be closer together. We'll just take them together, decrease the line height. If you're not happy with the sizing like me, you can just go back and decrease your font size even more. Let's go to 48. That should work. You can always make sure you change your sizes as much as possible until you're happy. That is what gives you the perfect UI design, something you're really proud of. Just zoom it in, place it in the center. And again, now we're going to go back to our text file, get the title one more time, copy and paste it. This title is also going to be styled. We're going to make it white. We are going to give it a capital case, reduce the font size by a whole lot, bring it down to 16. Should we do 16? I think we should do 11. 11 works even better. We'll just make it as small as humanly possible. We can make it bigger though. We can just, and again, you won't know what size works for you until you try and make these things work together, until you try it on your own. We'll just adjust this up top. This is mostly for branding purposes. Mostly it is for just plain old branding purposes. If you're not completely happy with the way your font looks, especially on a brown background, sometimes it's not giving you that something special kind of feel, you can add a drop shadow. This gives your text a particular lift over your background base. This gives your text that special 3D something that you've always been looking for. Once you start to adjust these values, you're going to see the actual magic and the limits of everything that we can do with this. Of course, you're free to try whatever you want, but I'm just going to change the UI value to 2. You can change the blur values, experiment around with them, see a little bit of what works perfectly for you, and then you can decide for yourself what you like to use. All right, now we're just going to resize it, place it right here. Let's go back to our description. We'll go back, choose our text, copy the text, paste it, and this is going to give us beautiful text that we can style. This text is now description text. You don't want your title and description texts to both have the same font family. You want one of them to be a fancy font, one of them to be a normal font. Since Sankrik is a really fancy font, it gives you so much special effects and so many special serifs and designs and edges and angles to work with. Beautiful little edges and angles and designed in old English feel. We are going to change our font family to Inter. Inter is one of the most classic, basic, plain fonts that you'll find, and it is one of the best ones out there. Inter and Outfit are my two favorite sans serif description text like relaxed fonts. There are other fonts as well in this category like Poppins, Montserrat, but they just have slight errors. Railway is also a good one. They always have these slight little errors and stuff. Not errors, just differences in design opinions that bother me a lot. So I'm just good with Inter at the moment, and Outfit. Even Outfit has its own technicalities, its own problems at points, but it's still really relaxed as a font. So when you want a fancy text, if your fancy font is, the concept I'm trying to bring forth is, if your fancy font is a thin one, then you want to go with Inter. This is also a thin description font. If your fancy font was fat or thick, for example OI, you would want to have something like Outfit there because it's also a very relaxed wide font. So if your fancy font is wider, you want to work with Outfit. If your fancy font is thinner, you want to work with Inter. We're changing this to sentence case. You know what, let's just give it a basic no case. Make it smaller just so it can fit inside, fit the UI, fit the size and feel. Make the line height, I'm bothered by the line height still, so I'm just going to make it even lesser. We're just reducing the line height at this point. All right, this works fine. We'll just use your arrow keys to get the perfect position for all of your elements on the page. Just change the thickness of this to medium. I think medium looks good. And we're also going to reduce our size. Always font sizes are measured in relation to what you're working with. So in UI, every single font size is sort of, you only figure out if this font size works or not by looking at the other fonts around it. If two description and title texts have the same exact font size or at least similar font sizes, you're in a world of trouble. I'm just going to leave it at that. You are in a lot of trouble. If they're sizably different, visibly different, description text is ideally smaller, that's more like the stuff we like to see. All right, we'll just, I think we should still reduce the font size because this does not look like a font size I'd like to use. I think we might still reduce the font size. We'll just use arrow keys to align everything first. And don't worry about making everything in the center right now. You just want to align them together. You don't have to worry about, are these texts on the center of the page as a whole? Just worry about aligning them one single line at a time. Let's keep it at medium. Let's see what 11 does to this. I think 11 is a little too much. We can go back to 12 or 14. Let's try 14. 14 is still too much. We'll go with 12. 12 works. 12 works. All right, I like this, and we're going ahead with it. This works completely fine. And now we're going to make our own button, call to action button, CTA, the main action that you want the user to take after they're convinced your UI, your website is convincing them to do something that they actually want to do. I'm going to now take you through my favorite, easiest, simplest way to making buttons in the whole wide world. Take your text, type something, let's just say enjoy now, and give it some space. Maybe, you know what, I'm going to show you how I do this next. We'll just go to Google, search for ASCII arrows. ASCII arrows are something that you search for a lot if you're looking for icons that don't come from icon libraries. These ASCII arrows seem like icons, but they're actually texts. So for a computer, they're equivalent to capital A, small a, B, C, D. They take a lot less time to load. They don't have to make network calls other than your font family. They're really, really optimized, really, really nice. If you want to take them and replace them as your icon library, it's going to do wonders with your website performance. This is just something from the programming side. I try to keep this channel, try to keep these live streams at least UI designer friendly, but sometimes the web developer side just pops out. All right, now we have this text ready with us. We're going to get to making the simplest frames. We'll just add an auto layout, make the padding on its left and right and its top and bottom to a size which we like. I think I'm just happy with this at this point. Just increase the size just a little bit, decrease it as well. You can just type whatever numbers you want, or you can use your mouse pointer to sort of drag this around and figure out what works for you. We're going to give it a fill of white. Don't worry if your text isn't visible anymore. You're going to remove the white color from your text, change it to the background brown that we were using currently. So this is going to give you a really nice shade of brown that is sort of see-through, gives a really, really nice UI illusion. It is going to work out to become one of the best buttons we've ever made. Just keep watching. We'll just increase now the thickness of this text, take it to about a semi-bold or a bold. Bold works as well. And now we need to take care of one thing before we go ahead with it. Sometimes you will notice this, your line height, which is the height of a particular text line, is deeper at the bottom. So there is a lot more space here than there is over here, or sometimes there is less space here or more space here. Sometimes things like that happen. So when you make a button out of it, you end up realizing that this upper space looks thinner than the lower space. The lower space looks like it has a lot of space. The way you're going to control that is you're going to go to this button, make the padding for this lesser at the bottom, and then that's at least visually, even if in pixel values this doesn't seem to work, this seems to be uneven as a styling choice, this gives a lot more peace to the user visually. Like, in terms of spacing, usually text gives you a lot less spacing at the top, a lot more spacing at the bottom. When you adjust it through your auto layouts while creating buttons, it makes more uniform buttons for UIs. All right, now we're going to give it a really, really small amount of padding, border radius. So it's just going to get a little bit of border radius here and here. And this is not a complete pill button. This is not this happening. We are just taking small values, very, very small pixel values. 4 or 5 is the maximum you're going to do. Maybe 6 if you're feeling lucky, and then that's it. We'll just take it, and we right now need to change our font size as well. So you want your font size to be at least 2 pixels at the bare minimum bigger than your description text. And this is just in the context of this UI design. This changes for each UI design. In fact, I might change the thickness to extra bold as well. This works well. This looks good. We might change the thickness here, and you're just going to go here and change your thickness, take it to around 18. You can type these things out manually, and then at the end you're left with something that's really really nice looking. Again, spacing issues also happen when you have an ASCII arrow here. Then you also want to maybe manually adjust a pixel or two, just so everything looks right visually, because what works on paper and what looks right visually is sometimes very very different. This seems to give me a lot of this seems to look like there's a lot of space at the top and bottom, and I intend to fix that. So I'm just going to see now. This would look so much better. Like, we'll just bring it to about an 8, not too much. Change these values to be a little bit smaller as well, and see, this now works so much better, hordes better. We'll just change it to 9 as well, just for the sake of this UI. We'll just change it to this guy. This looks more uniform now. You have to see for yourself what looks more uniform. Sometimes every UI ends up looking a little bit different. And for this text also, we're going to give it a drop shadow, just so everything is visible in front of the dark background. Like, if you have white text, it is always a good idea to give it drop shadow. If it is in a light background, then also it will pop out, and if it is in front of a dark background, then as well you're going to have some really nice looking effects. If there's white text, always make sure there is a drop shadow. Please make sure there is a drop shadow wherever there's white text. Blind formula. We're just going to take it, use the arrow keys to give it at least equal amount of spacing. Click on the shift key to select multiple things at once. Control G lets you group the whole thing. And now we're just going to place it at a position where everything is perfectly aligned to the center. If it looks too big, you're just going to resize it to be equal to the whole thing. And now your group basically, why is this outside of the group? We'll just take it, place it inside of our group. And this group is now, when every edge is aligned to every piece of text, like so, we'll just align it perfectly. This edge needs to be aligned with its, this edge looks fine. When every edge is aligned to its text, you can basically place it in the center. You can just click this button and it's going to place everything in the center. If there's a little bit of space here that this guy can't account for, you can always use your arrow keys to shift things around just until things look just right. And this is just for the first UI prototype. With this, we are done with our UI design. You can change the color of this button to be one shade darker maybe, and that's just an added something on top. It uplifts your UI, takes it to a different level, just a little bit different. So you don't want to have the exact same shade as the background. I know it was the initial effect that we were going for, but making it a shade darker would look much better, since a lot of these shavings have a darker shade that needs to be somewhere in the UI design. Alright, and with that, we have completed our very first UI design page, and now we're going to progress towards our second, third, and fourth frames as well. Just shifting things around for final touches, nothing too extreme, nothing too big, nothing too much. Give it as much spacing as you like. I think this spacing looks good. This spacing looks really good. It's perfect. Alright. Next, we're just going to take this frame, copy it, Control C, Control V lets you paste your frame. And now we're going to change the fill of the background. But before we do that, let's just switch our images, see what we're dealing with, and then we'll be able to better decide what color of background works perfectly. We'll just choose the red cup for this one. And very similarly, we have a similar red cupcake. We'll just resize it, make it a little bit smaller. I think making it smaller would look much better. You can always use this button to align everything in the center. And then you can just take this splash, click on choose image, and change this to your white chocolate splash. This is going to be your red splash as well as blue splash. So duplicate images. Anyways, now that we've taken care of that, now things are going to go so smoothly, you are not going to believe how easy this is now. So we're just going to go to our fill, change our main color to a shade of red. We'll just take this color from right here. This looks like a good shade of red. We're going to go back to our circle. And this is where we're sort of starting to speed run things at the moment. We'll just take this, change this to change the outer color to the color of the actual page. Take this color on the insides, take the color on the outside, take a shade that's much lighter from this, and now it seems like the whole thing is radiating. You can even take it to white if you want to, and then just change the positioning of the circle. This is the easiest way to add individual radial gradients that make your designs really pop out. This is the simplest way. There are other ways. You can do it through the background, but it is complicated. I'm not going to lie. You can just drag it out, maybe change these positions of these cursors and whatnot, just till you find out something that works really well. I am not happy currently with this light pink shade that there is, so I'm just going to work with it a little bit just to see what we can do, just to see. All right, this looks fine. This looks really good. Let me just increase the brightness. This works well. All right, sometimes you might see that for a brown background, your top notification bar was working well when you had a fill of white with 8% opacity. So white with 8% opacity looks good for a darker shade, but when you have a bright shade that's right there in your face, something like red, you want to usually change this fill percentage to be a lot higher. This number has to go 17 and above at least, and that's just me speaking in at least terms, because this is a bright background shade. We can just change this number to 21 looks good. Okay, this gives us, or you can just shift around until things look kind of even to you. You can do 24 even if you want, and that gives us our UI almost done, almost there. We're just going to take the color from the background and make it one shade darker, just one slight shade darker. It doesn't matter what color you're using, one single slight shade darker. It doesn't really matter at all. We'll just go to C3. All right, C3 was working well. We'll just change it to C3. Now that we have taken care of the button as well, one last thing we might want to do is, have we given this button a drop shadow? We have not. In fact, you know what? Let's just ditch it. Drop shadows would look too intense for this one. Let's just leave it. Don't worry about it. All right. Now we are going to take care of this text, changing this text, going back to our text file, the one that we got from our Discord server, which is where you can find all of our text files, by the way. We'll just take all of this text from the middle. This is the basic layout of all of the text that we're using. So it's basically every single one has the top logo, the title line, the description line, and then the button text, which is enjoy now. I've just copied these two lines for the red one, and now I'm just placing them like that. And this lets me not go back to my screen of text files, copy it, cut it, paste it like that. This is going to make sure that the alignment and the styling and the values for my text are preserved. When I place it in a container, Control X to cut it, and then Control V to copy it. This makes sure that my initial stylings have been preserved. This line is carrying a space from our previous text box. We're just going to click on delete, remove it. This gives us one of the most beautiful UIs that have come together so quickly. All right, now we're just going to go and make our third frame as well. Control C, Control V lets us make our third frame. We're going to go right here, click on choose image, and choose your mango or yellow image. This is going to be one of the quickest, most fanciest builds, a build that you can actually use on your mobile screen. So fun. This gives us a really nice donut image. You can scale it up if you want to make sure it is aligned in the center without doing much effort. You can click on this button. This makes sure everything is aligned in the center. You can always change the background, change the padding over here, sort of change this push from the bottom to make the padding look more even, make everything look more aligned while animating. Now we're going to go to our image, which is in the background, the splash image. Click on choose image, choose a mango image. This is going to be our splash for this third yellow UI. All right, if your splash looks cut off for any reason whatsoever, it doesn't matter what that reason is, just go right here, because sometimes when you choose images from containers of another image, it carries properties of the previous container. So this is my container. If I change the image fill now, this image fill is going to be changed, but some properties like till what length this image is cropped, what edges the image has, what resolutions, and what borders and maximum spacing it has, things like that are carried over, which is why for some images you always need to crop it and then make it maybe get down just a little bit, shift below to make sure everything is very well adjusted. All right, now that we've taken care of that, we are going to change our background color and then take care of changing the text. This is coming together so quickly, you guys. So fun, coming live to you every single day for 100 days of UI design. This is day 38. We're designing something super duper cool animations, which you can actually use on your mobile screen. This prototype is one of the most fantastical ones ever. Again, I'm not doing anything complicated over here particularly. We've done this for the last section. As long as you just copy whatever instructions I'm making while you're doing this UI, you should be fine. If you're not happy with the main color that you've chosen and you want to replace it at once, go right here. This is going to give you the selection colors. Choose a color that you're maybe even happier with and just shift around till you find something that you just like so much you can't refuse it. I think this is much better. This is much better. We'll just copy and paste it. We will go to our circle. Radial gradients don't automatically change from the selected colors. Radial gradient colors need to be changed manually. Paste it right here and paste it in the top section as well. The reason I'm pasting it in the top section is now I can take this exact hue and change it to a lighter shade in this same line. That's going to give it a lot more evenness than say any other random color would. Where did my image go? Oops. I think my image went somewhere. We're going to have to take care of that. This just shifted. We'll just place it in the center once again, and that is going to give us this beautiful UI design. All right, now we'll just change the text and change the color of the button. So the way we're going to change the color of the button is, you guessed it, take a color from the background, make it darker on those same exact lines, just a little bit darker, not too much, and that's going to give you the pop you need for your main call to action button. Now we're going to go back to our text file, copy the main line and the line on the description as well, take it right here, place it. We're going to go back once again. Why do I have this open? Let's just close it. It didn't close. Wow. Anyways, we'll just go back right here, place it. If you don't think there is enough text, you can always add more text. This is one of the reasons we've added this into this place. You can always add more text. This delightful cupcake is the perfect sweet, and I'm just making words up at this point. You don't have to worry about what you're placing. You can also use lorem ipsum text through the lorem ipsum plugin or any other plugins you'd want, or from Google. Perfect sweet treat. This looks good. This looks good. Even when you're doing actual professional UIs, there is almost always, they have a particular character length which copywriters and people who are actually giving you the text take into consideration while giving you the text. As a UI designer, you don't have to worry about the text lengths being 10 paragraphs long and 3 lines long. Those things usually don't happen. You will get equal spaced, equal character length text from your whoever is asking you to create the UI design. Most cases this does happen. Copy and paste it one final time and find all of your images, the one I'm replacing all of the other images for the last 37 days, all of the other images for as many days as there are in this UI design challenge. Now you can find every single asset that we've ever used on this channel in the single Discord group. You can even request for assets. So for example, if I forget to post an asset, or if you don't find an asset, if you want to look for an asset, you looked for it, you can't find it, there is even a section in the Discord server to request for specific assets. We'll just shift it just until we're sure we're doing a good job here, and change our other image as well. You can just use your arrow keys for this. You can now change your image splash as well. And these splashes might seem like simple elements right now, but when they animate, it's absolute delight. we've placed it at the bottom. That works well. Now we're going to change the fill for this page. This fill is going to be similar to one of the colors that's in this screen. It's quite flashy right now. I know we might change it to a color that we much rather prefer. This needs a lot of thinking about. All right, this color looks fine enough, does it? Yep, I think this works. I'm not overthinking it at all. It's so hard to convince yourself not to overthink colors. It is actually so hard. At least for me, I have a really hard time just not OCDing all over the place. All right, now we'll just take our circle, change its radial gradient fill, change this main color to this color, leave it at that, change the other color to this color also, but make this a lighter shade of the same color. You can go ahead and place any of these colors in this region because they're all going to be really light shades that animate from the center. They're going to give it this really nice glowing look and feel. You can just always shift this around just a little bit, just so even in each individual UIs you can always make the circle bigger, make this one just a little bit smaller. You can do that, and that gives it the really nice animation it needs, considering the shape of the image and the shape and the color of the screen. Now we are going to change the text that we have right here. Before we do that, we're going to change the fill of the text of the button. This is a nice phrase to say, fill of the text of the button. All right, now we're going to go back to our text one last time. We're going to take this whole thing. At this point, I have so many text files open. We'll just copy it, paste it. This gives us our text. We'll just take our title from right here, Control X, cut our title, and Control V lets you paste the whole thing. Oops, I think we selected it. If issues like this happen where you end up placing it and it changes your UI design, your styling for your text, you don't have to worry. You don't have to do the thing all over again. Click on Control Z, undo the specific function, right click before pasting, paste here and match style. This is going to guarantee your styling never gets changed. You never have to work as hard once again. All right, we'll just take this text, take our description text, Control X to copy it. When you double click on a text, it lets you select the whole thing, so you don't have to worry about right clicks anymore. We'll just take this text, change it to, and again, this same issue is happening again. I don't know exactly why this is happening. I'm just going to place this here and match style, and this works so well. All right, and now we have a really good, nice looking UI design. All right, now what we're going to do next is we're going to go ahead and animate these things. So once they start animating, then we can think about bringing them into our actual mobiles. All right, so the way we're going to be animating them is we're going to be taking all of the splashes, because we're animating splashes right here primarily. We're going to be taking all of our various splashes, copying them, pasting them, making them smaller, and you can click on shift while you do this, just so your resolution is maintained, so images don't squish together. Make them smaller. Where did my images go? All right, here they are. We'll make them smaller. We'll just place one of these in the center, take another one, place it in the center as well, and take the third guy, place it in the center as well. And now we have these 3 images inside of our frame. We want to make sure these images are inside of the frame. Let's just check these images are inside of the frame. Where did my third image go? We just sort of move it around until we figure out where the actual image went. Where did you go? Okay, just drag it around until you can find it. I think we lost it. We might have. Let's just undo the whole thing, undo the whole process, do it over again. This is the thing that happens with live streams. You don't. All right, here we have it. You don't know what's going to go wrong, and then something does go wrong, and then we'll just take all of these, group them the very first chance we get, shift and press multiple images to select them at once, place them all in the same position by clicking on this magical button up top, And once you're done with that, take these images, place them on top of each other. Just take this whole thing as a whole, do this specific button, align vertical, take it and place it right here. And finally, this we're going to call splash group, SPLASH group. Now this splash group is really important to me because it is going to go at the exact same position where we placed our chocolate splash, and then it's going to go in its exact same location. This splash is the blueberry splash. Let's say we can call it BLSPL. This is the mango splash, MNSPL. This is the red splash. You can name them whatever you want, and I'm just being stingy with the typing job here. We'll just take this splash group, copy it, paste this splash group in this second frame as well, and remove this biggest image. You know what, rather than removing this image, just make it smaller, make it just as small as the other images or around the same space, and remove your red splash. Simply go right here. We're going to rename this RDSPL, just so Figma knows that the red splash that is present in this group and this red splash are the same red splash. This red splash which is present hidden inside of the donut here, under the donut there, has to animate to this next big splash. These are the same objects, so you have to worry about renaming them the same way. Name this RDSPL, take our splash group, put it, this sounds weird for some reason, splash group. Anyways, we'll just take it, place it here, remove the other image. Hold on, what do these look like? All right, we'll just copy, and you know what, let me just place my splash group once more, just to see if we're just taking the right images. Okay, this is fine. I was just checking if I had renamed a white chocolate to mango and mango to white chocolate. Just make sure of these little things, otherwise things are going to go wrong and then you're going to wonder why. Okay, now we'll just take this whole thing, delete it, because we just took it out here just to check it out. Make sure you've selected the frame while placing it, so then it's going to place it in the same exact positions in the frame as well. And now you're going to start by doing the exact same thing once again. Place it right here, rename this to be blue splash, BLSPL. I think that's what we renamed that guy. All right, and now we're going to take it, place it in the place of the blue splash here, delete the first blue splash, make the chocolate splash smaller, make it just click on shift so that your resolution doesn't get harmed, make it about the same height. It can be a little bit 10-20 pixels big and small, that is okay, completely fine. We're going to go to the splash group once again, repeat it again. I'm live every single day for 100 days straight. This is day 38 in consecutive order. Every single day you can always come back and check out a new UI design, something that you haven't done before, every single day. By the end of this challenge, I can guarantee you will be so improved as a UI designer. You would never have thought these improvements could just happen like that. This 100-day challenge is the ultimate goat best thing that ever happened, and I wish I had something like that this when I was beginning UI design. All right, this is now about done, almost done. 99% of it is done. We're just going to go to the prototype section, and we're going to start by clicking on interactions. The very first frame has an interaction of click, and when it's clicked, it's going to navigate to frame 2. When it is navigated to frame 2, it's going to smart animate, and the smart animation function is going to be quick because you want things to bounce out quickly. And once you've made sure all of these settings are exactly what you want them to be, you don't have to worry about making sure these settings are the same ever again. Figma automatically sets the other frames as well to be the exact same settings. We'll just place it right here. Make sure to always link your last screen to the first one. People forget it, and then it's a whole big spectacle. We'll just close other UIs for confusion and present it. Instead of sharing this UI design today, I will make sure you can figure out how you can use it in your own mobile screen. and this is now animating to something amazing. Just check it out. You know what, let me just make sure of one thing, because this red seems to be just fine. All right, I was just checking something, never mind. Check this out. This is, by the way, is this not one of the most amazing UI designs you have ever seen? Check out the splashes, check out the light that's coming from behind this image of a cupcake. Check out these images morphing in different ways. Just you can use one of these ways for the other ones, and you can just sort of, it gives you an example of how this way of morphing different images can actually be worked up. This is, check this out. This is one of the most innovative, amazing UI designs I have ever seen. So fun to build. And now, as I promised, I'm going to show you how you can use it in your actual mobile phone. How you can use this prototype in your mobile phone. So for this, obviously, if you're on an Android, you're just going to follow these exact same instructions. If you're not, I'm sure you can find something on Apple Store as well. Just go and search for Figma or Figma Mirror app, whatever you want to search for. You're going to get a prototype mirror share app. I'm not sure if it's visible. You're going to find this app, and I have it installed, but I'm just going to uninstall it for this video and show you what it looks like. So you're just going to go to your Play Store, go to the first page, search for Figma, and go and install the whole app. And this is going to now show you what happens when you install this app on its own. It takes a little while to download sometimes, but not that long. And now you're going to click on open. You're going to log into Figma. Really simply, you're going to go over to your sign up and sign in through your account. Now I'm just signing in through the same account that I've used here. It's going to show that you're authenticated now, and now you can log in with your mobile app. Now that you're logged in, you're going to find all of your UI designs which you have made, and you're going to click on the most recent one. So it automatically detects the most recent design that you have working in your desktop. Is this not amazing? It is going to go here. It's going to give you some instructions. And this is the reason we made sure to check our viewport width in the beginning of this video. And now when you click on this image, check out this animation, you guys. I can actually make this animation on my desktop and use it on my phone, show it to other people, show it to friends, show it to family, hell, show it to your employers, show it to anyone and everyone you want to show it to. This is your walking, talking intro demo. Is this not the coolest thing in the whole world? Just check it out, and it just automatically mirrors what you're doing inside of your desktop and just does it on your mobile screen. Is this not the most amazing thing in the whole world? This has been one of the most awesome, one of the best UI designs we have ever done until now. This has been one of the coolest effects we've ever used on our mobile phones. Just tap on it and it gives you this, everything that you've done initially, you can basically do it with your everything that we've basically made through our desktop. You can always use it in your mobile screen as well. And I'm going to show you how everything which we made initially is shown here. So now you can actually start to see, it takes a while to load sometimes, the actual circle that we placed, which was in the background, gives off this radiating light. These splashes of images are always present. The font is Sand Creek, such a beautiful font. Check out this image, and when you click on another one, it just goes and flips and it morphs. It gives you an animation and it shows you how you can morph it into a different UI. Check out every single thing about, I am so completely a complete fan of what we're doing over here. Check out the complete splash of color that happens over here. Check out the images, and everything is just so well maintained. The background gives off this light of circle which we just did through our radial gradients. Every single pixel is perfect. Every single font, text, image, everything works so well right here. This has been the end of a wonderful 38th day. I hate to go today. I really do. This has been such a wonderful day today, you guys. And I'm going to be back tomorrow at 8 p.m. Indian Standard Time. Again, same time, same place, with something completely new, something you haven't made until now. This has been a wonderful opportunity. Thank you for joining me. This is Veera signing out. Peace.